Know your princes.
Hi there, people.
And princesses.
This is me, Amelia.
It's time to prove it in
talking
this
about
episode of Disney
princes
Jeopardy.
and princesses. And there's The Wedding Singer, which I may watch again. That's the High School Musical
After braving
this
the
year.
frigid temperatures of Orlando, Florida last week, I am back indoors for this episode of Disney Jeopardy. Welcome in. As always, I am your host, Brian Perry. And yes, 2,934 clues may have come in.
I got a surprise.
Today is a brand new ball game. And like I mentioned earlier, it is all about
I got a surprise.
washing the windows. Yes, I am waving to all the peasants
and
below.
It's actually
all about
good
princes and princesses, of course. So let's take a look at the board and see the other categories.
The freshmen are partially like me in The Wedding Singer.
Before we get to those four other categories, it does begin with princes and princesses. All five of the clues in this category were submitted by viewers.
I do miss being in musicals like all 4 years.
The second category you'll be playing, the other regal look. The third category is last lines of love. After that, it's your theme park category of the week, and that is royal adventures.
Ooh.
And the fifth and final category, as voted on by the club DJ members, is meet the parent.
I voted for that one.
Of the vote goes to meet the parent. Coming in second, Unscramble the Name. In last place, an MTV-inspired Welcome to My Crib
Well, we
category,
know
where I
more
would
about
show
the
you
parent.
someone's crib house, and you would have told me
I
which
aced the category
royal
last
it
week,
belonged
and we
to.
all
But we're
know.
not doing that. No, instead we are doing Meet the Parent. I will show you an image of a Disney character's parent, one of their parents. You have to tell me whose parent that is. Not who the character is in the image, but whose parent that is. All right, with that, it is now time for the easiest round of the game, the cupcake round.
I'm
Each
a
of these
rainbow
clues worth us
sprinkle
200 points
cupcake.
each as we get this game started. It's princes and princesses for two. The name Aladdin adopts
Who is
after Genie
Prince
turns
Ali?
him into a prince.
In Indiana Township, where Camp Deer Creek was.
Correct answer is Prince Ali Ababwa.
Prince Ali Ababwa.
Who am I?
Prince Ali?
I just said
From?
Duh. From Ababwa.
As we get set to move on to the other regal outfit, here's how it will work. It's very simple. I'll show you an image
that's the
of a
new
Disney
movie.
character's outfit.
I like
Perhaps
the
not
old
their
animated
signature
movie
outfit.
better.
You'll simply have to tell me which royal member belongs to. Here we go. Started off pretty easy here in the cupcake round. Whose outfit is this?
That's Elsa's from Frozen.
I know what a lot of you are thinking. No, the correct answer is not Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch. No, instead, it is Merida. Brave. And as we get ready to move on to last lines of love, I'll give you a rundown of how this works. I've taken some of the very last lines Disney royal characters have said to their significant others. Maybe it wasn't the very last line, but it was one of their last lines. You have to tell me which Disney character.
It feels like
said the line.
Valentine's
Here we
Day
go.
all over again.
First line is, at the cottage in the Glen.
I don't know. I'm thinking it's from Tangled.
A little fun fact, this actually was the very last line Aurora says to Prince Philip before the end of the movie.
Aurora.
And yes, it happens pretty close to the beginning of the movie. Aurora's got, like, no lines.
Oh no! This evening!
Where?
At the cottage in the glen!
On to Royal
And there was never
Adventures for the
a
first time.
sequel made for that
Before
movie.
changing its name to Snow White's Enchanted Wish, this was the name of the Disneyland attraction based on the 1937 animated film.
I think it's Snow White.
What is
Snow White's Scary
White's
Adventures.
Scary Adventures? And here comes Meet the Parent for the first time.
I don't like that.
Whose parent is
Oh
this?
no, that's Snow White's parent, and this is probably in honor of the new movie in theaters.
We're going back to back,
But
belly to belly with Snow White.
But I'm gonna go
Clues,
see
and of course
Captain
is
America:
the
Brave New
stepmother
World.
from Snow White. And by the way, if you can't get enough of Snow White, I did a Snow White category back in episode 85. I thought about doing it again this episode in honor of the big release of the movie that has just been talked about way too much over the last 3 years, the Snow White live-action remake. Will I see it? I'll get around to it. If you have already seen it, let me know.
I think the Lilo and Stitch live action remake.
We move on to the second round now. These clues are worth 400 points, so rightfully so, they're a little tougher. The Crown Princess of Avalor.
Who's Elena?
Who is Elena?
Even though I think that stuff is lame, I've heard of it.
Other looks now for the second time. Who wore this snazzy outfit?
Prince Philip.
Surprised he could breathe in it. The correct answer is Prince Philip. Here comes Last Lines of Love for the second time. I don't even know your name. How will I find you? Who said it?
That was Snow White and the prince.
Now, I will say a lot of these royal couples obviously conversed in their straight-to-VHS sequels or in some spin-off television shows, but I'm keeping things strictly to the original movies they were in. So who said this line in their original film to their significant other, or should I say soon-to-be significant other? It was Prince Charming to Cinderella.
Prince Charming.
Goodbye.
No, wait. Come back.
Oh,
please come back.
She runs away and
I don't even know your name. How will I find you?
And believe it or not, yes, that also was the very last thing that Charming said to Cinderella before we see them get married. Things move pretty fast back in the day. Here comes Royal Adventures for 400. Guests can attempt to pull out and lift Excalibur in a Disneyland/Magic Kingdom experience themed to this Disney film.
Is it the Haunted Mansion? Oh,
What is Sword in the Stone?
Not the best.
Final clue
Disney
of 400
movie.
is another Meet the Parent. Whose parent is that?
Oh, that's Kiara from The Lion King 2. That's Nala. That's Sarabi.
That is Sarabi, not Nala. So
Sarabi.
it is Simba's mom, not Kiara's mom. Correct answer
Simba's
is
mom.
Simba.
Mom!
Her face looks
Mom,
familiar.
you're messing up my mane.
We move on
That's
to the
in
600
Ross
point round now and
Township.
continue boosting that difficulty. After attempting to meet with Jasmine, this prince
Who's Prince
storms off in a
Ahmed?
fury after his pants rip, exposing his heart-infused underwear.
In Ohio Township. Oh yeah, Franklin Park. I read a lot of good things about the northern
I'm
suburbs.
just saying, maybe we should
but
hear Prince
unfortunately, the year
Ahmed
featured
out
in the Pop 2
because
Countdown is
he went
not
to meet Jasmine,
2005,
and
but
next thing you know, he's
2001
getting bit in the
rather.
rear end by a tiger, and now has to walk
And
through the
yesterday's
palace
childhood
with,
chats
underwear
were
showing. I don't know.
dual, 6 of
He wasn't
them.
that bad of a guy. I don't think
We've been
many people
getting them
deserve
every
getting
other day.
bit by a
Wonder
tiger,
if the pattern
unexpectedly.
will continue
Here comes
tomorrow.
other looks
Or
for the
if
third time. Who wore this?
I think it's Cinderella.
The correct answer, once
Or
again,
Snow White.
is Snow White.
Snow
Look, guys,
White.
if you think that's too much Snow White, there are only 13 official Disney princesses, according to princess.disney.com.
Well, maybe he did it in honor of the
Some
live action
princesses are going to get
movie.
repeat clues
If
here.
so, kudos
and you know
to
what?
you,
Snow White
Brian.
deserves it. He's the OG. Here comes Last Lines of Love. For 6. It is you.
Oh, that's Belle and the Beast. I remember that from the Hello Belle category.
All right, I'll be honest. I tried to throw you off by saying, it is you. But it's not how it is said in the movie. No, instead, it is said like this.
It is you.
Time for a royal
Corresponding to
adventure
the
of
longest
sorts.
belt in the
Check
Allegheny
it out.
County
For
belt
6.
system, the orange
In
belt.
Mickey's PhilharMagic, this princess
I'm
places
excited
the
to go back to
sorcerer's
those
hat
activities.
on Donald's head.
On April Fool's Day, of course.
2 princesses
3
appear
days
in
before-
Mickey's PhilharMagic. Ariel is the first one. She does not place the sorcerer's hat on Donald's head. No, Jasmine does.
I'm still working on my story.
Final clue of the 600-point round brings us to another parent. This is my parent. So what is my
That's
name?
Aurora. I think that's Aurora.
That is King Stefan, and he is the father of Aurora. It's time for the second hardest round of the game, the underrated 800-point round.
I hope we don't do a
Let's begin.
villains category.
Prince Harris is a sibling to this princess.
I don't know.
He's not only a sibling to the princess, he's also a sibling to his brothers, Hubert and Hamish. Correct answer here is Merida.
I don't know it. I'm not a fan of Brave.
Hamish, Hubert,
As I was saying, that's 3 days
check
before
out
our
another
client
Google
Grace's
look
birthday.
Who's rocking this?
I think that's somebody from Encanto.
Correct answer is Anna from Frozen
Anna.
2. It's when she's playing charades.
Charades,
Here comes
that was one
Last
of the
Lines
games
of
we
Love.
played.
Great. No matter what happens, I'll always be with you forever. The correct answer once again brings us to princess.disney.com. We take a look at the 13 Disney princesses, the official ones, according to the Walt Disney Company. And Pocahontas is the one who says this. She says it to John Smith.
That's
No matter what happens,
the blue
I'll
belt.
always be with you.
My closest
Forever.
belt. It goes through
Let's move on.
Dormont,
It's
too,
Royal
where
Adventures
our
3.
activity was.
Sleeping Beauty Castle can be found in these two Disney theme parks.
Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. The Magic Kingdom is the Cinderella Castle. I know
Of course,
this.
it's the original Disneyland park, but who has the other Sleeping Beauty Castle? In my opinion, it is the prettiest castle in any Disney park. Disneyland Paris is your other answer.
Paris.
Here comes the final clue of the 800s. It's Meet the Parrot.
Oh, that's Merida from Brave. I can tell because of the red hair.
That right there is a young image of Queen Aduna. Well, she wasn't a queen at that point, but she eventually becomes a queen, and she is a parent, of course, of either Anna or Elsa. Well, she's a parent of both of them, but
Anna
you
and
could have said
Elsa.
Anna or Elsa. 20
They're
clues
good
are down at
sisters.
6. Princely and Princessly clues remain, including Final Jeopardy.
Yeah,
but
but
before
both
we
of the
get
Luster
there,
cousins were
you know what time
involved
it
in
is.
the
It is
Wedding
time.
Singer.
There's a really dramatic soundtrack of
I
Fuse
wanna watch that.
unnecessarily. Spotlight, part of the game, the 1,000-point round. Hit it!
Oh boy,
All right,
who
folks,
wants to be a
1,000-point round
millionaire?
begins with the final fan clue of the game. Let's check it out in the Prince and Princesses
Oh, I hope
category.
I can recognize
As
this.
I've mentioned a few times, the official Disney Princess website lists a total of 13 princesses. Out of the 13, only these 3 married into royalty without being royal first. And again, this is in their original films.
Oh, jeez. Now I know there's 13 princesses.
As we take a look at the Disney Princess website, there's another giveaway here. All the princesses wearing gloves are the ones
Cinderella.
that married into royalty. So you've got Belle right there. She, of course, married
Belle.
the Beast. You've got Cinderella, who married Prince Charming.
And
then
Tiana.
Tiana,
That's
who
what I
married
dressed up as for
Naveen.
Halloween last year.
The others were either already royal or we don't actually see them marry the character in the film.
I think a
All right.
Disney princess
Well,
is
tough
a
one.
cool thing to dress up
Here
as
comes
for
other looks
Halloween.
for the final time. Who wore this outfit?
Oh, that's Prince Eric.
That would be Prince Naveen
Oh,
from
Prince
his
Naveen.
wedding in Princess and the Frog. Here's Last Lines of Love, worth 1,000.
Call me an old school.
I'm asking you for the 2 characters here. These 2 lines are said by 2 different characters. So who are the 2 characters? Again, they are each other's significant others. First line goes, you gotta get away from here. The response is, no, I won't leave you. Who are the 2 characters? Who are Eric and
Eric
Ariel?
and Eric. Oh!
Eric, you've got to get away from here.
No, I won't leave you.
Here comes
In
your final
Trenum.
royal adventure clue.
Close to Highlands,
This is
my
the only
old
princess
school
to
district.
appear on the
I can
stern.
still interact
Disney
with
Cruise Line
school-age
ships.
kids, but just not ones from Highlands. They have their musical tonight, and Taylor Alderdice
Who
has
is
their
Rapunzel?
musical too. What a small
Here comes your
world.
final clue on the board before Final Jeopardy. Let's meet the parent for the last time. Whose parent is this?
I think that's Merida from Brave. I'm not 100% sure.
That is Raya's dad.
Raya.
So there you go, 25 clues are
I
down and only
Raya
one
and the
remains.
Lost
So happens to be one
Dragon.
clue that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself. How proud of yourself will you be? Hopefully you're walking around like that, like Ace Disney Jeopardy this week. For the next 7 days until episode 109 next week. What will episode 109 be about? That is the $1 million question. Just kidding. Disclaimer, no one's getting $1 million.
Hopefully not villains.
But that is the big question right now. Let's find out by checking out the final category in this episode, the inspiration for next week's. Turn of the century. And the turn of the century I'm talking about is not the one from the 1800s to the 1900s. No, lucky you, it's from the 1900s to the early 2000s. So think about next week's episode as an episode dedicated to both the end of the Disney Renaissance, so let's say 96 through 2000, and the beginning of those...
I should be pretty good at that. That was my time period.
2001 through 2006, we'll call it. So 96 to 06, that's what next week's episode is all about.
Can't wait for
Turn
that.
of the century. How well do you know that time period? And
how about a birthday category
Make your
for
wagers on your
the next week?
And time is up. Let's check out the final clue in this episode 108 of Disney Jeopardy. Matthew Broderick not only voiced Simba in The Lion King, but also played the title character in this 1999 Disney live-action film. Good luck.
1999? What?
And time is up. I tried to tie it into the Prince and Princess's storyline or whatever topic of this episode by including Simba right there. Of course, he becomes the king of the jungle, king of the pride land, whatever. Anyway, Matthew Broderick not only voiced Simba, but in 1999, the correct answer here is that he played Inspector Gadget.
Really?
You know how to dance, don't you? Actually, I was taking lessons not long ago in the hope that
Shut up and dance!
He's a very talented young man. I did not know that.
And that does it for
And
episode
there's my
108
name.
of Disney Jeopardy. I hope you're excited for next
And
week's
there's the
109.
cat in the
which again
hat
is
and the
all
wedding
about the turn
singer.
of the millennium.
At least
1996
now I
to
have things to
2006.
watch.
Call it that time period. Hopefully you can study up. Ask your history teachers to tutor you
I have
on all
the
things
journal
Disney
and I
from
have
those
all
10
the
or
stuff to
11
do.
years. I'll be covering movies.
I
I'll
never
be
get
covering
bored
TV
here in my new
shows, I'll be
apartment.
covering events. I'll be covering acquisitions, all that
It'll be fun.
stuff. So make sure
I'm
you
really
study
excited
up.
about that.
Club DJ members, you don't have to study because you guys are already brilliant. I know it already based on a lot of the clues you're submitting on DisneyJeopardy.com. So
Well,
thank you all
I
for
can't
watching.
submit
Thank you all
any
for being
because
a
I'm
Club
not
DJ
100%
member. Thank
sure.
you all for
Call
helping
me an
me
old
make
school
this
woman,
show.
but...
If you want to go vote on the poll right now, there it is. Your 3 options. What will be the category that you're quizzed on next week? That is up to you. I hope it's a close race. I like it better when it's a tight poll. Anyway, you know what time it is now. If you like what you saw, do me a favor.
Subscribe and click
Hit
that bell icon. Hello, Bell.
This way, you're notified. When I come out with brand new content. By the way, a few people have asked me, how do you join Club DJ? I'm not a Club DJ member yet. Simply click the join button under this video if you're watching on a computer. You do need to have a YouTube account in order to do so. Once you do so, you will be able to vote in that poll I have mentioned. Thanks again, everyone, so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I can't wait. See you next week for episode 109. Till then.
Bye-bye.
See you next week, Brian. Anyways, this is me, Amelia. Thank you all and good night, and I hope you enjoyed this royalty-themed episode of Disney Princes and Princesses featured on Disney 100 Jeopardy. Again, thank you all and good night.